mirror on the wall. So, every morning when we wake up, one of the first things we do is look into the mirror. We see ourselves at our worst, and we see ourselves at our best. We see our naked self. We see our flaws, and we realize this is who we are. And on some point, much later on, we have to realize this is who we have to accept. What's your first reaction when you stand in front of a mirror? Do you judge yourself? Do you feel content with yourself? It's difficult not to be self-critical, even hypercritical, when we're inundated with images of the media of what they deem beautiful. And this concept of beautiful that's portrayed by the preponderance of these images is literally and figuratively narrow. Thin is beautiful, which is why 2/3 of adolescent females end up going on a diet, and why study after study after study shows that half the girls as young as ages 6 to 8 want to be thinner. A 2009 University of Central Florida study found that half of the 3 to 6-year-old participants were worried about being fat. And if you guys think that this is just a girl problem, think again. The problem of body image and body dysmorphia affects teenage boys too. According to the NIH, 31% of teenage boys at some point in the past have tried to lose weight. And obviously, they're not all wrestlers trying to drop a weight class. The definition of beauty by which we subscribe to molds not just the way we see ourselves, but how we interact with others. It affects the way we act and who we are drawn to, and why we go to people at first glance. When I walked into high school for the very first time, I was very intimidated. I knew I had to approach people and make friends, but it was very difficult. It was the first time I ever thought consciously about the type of people I would want to approach and why. What was it that made me want to become friends with those people without even knowing who they were or why we would be good friends? I would come to realize what an impact every person's outer workings had on me. I immediately thought I would like them better if they were skinny, had nice eyes, no acne, and were always smiling. I thought it was only natural that people who I deemed more attractive, I would think were better people. And no offense, of course, to my current friends. I find you all beautiful, both inside and out, after having gotten to know you. But I have to admit, looking back, I seemed to befriend people who I deemed were beautiful. And I was obviously very overtaken by their outward appearances and never really thought about the inner beauty, if even such thing existed in my then 14-year-old consciousness. Was I guilty of being shallow and superficial? And if so, why? Why do so many of us do this? Why is it that we only judge people on their outer workings? Well, it's what we're taught to do. We are taught to put on makeup and dress in the most flattering, or should I say, slimming clothes. We put on a facade and make ourselves presentable so that when we look at ourselves in a mirror, we feel happy. Now, the concept of beauty is like the chicken or the egg question. Which came first, beauty itself or the standard by which we judge beauty? In other words, is there an intrinsic idea of beauty? That's what researchers wanted to find out at a study in 2004 at Stockholm University. They conducted an experiment similar to the Skinner's box experiment, where chickens would peck at few human faces in order to receive food. Researchers then kept track of the pecking order. In other words, which human faces did the chickens peck at the most, and then compared those results with the ones of college students to the same faces. They found that the same faces humans deem beautiful, chickens deem beautiful. Now, the humans have been conditioned by society and the media, but what about the chickens? Does this mean that those who have self-image problems are doomed? Does my dog look at me with affection because I'm beautiful or because he wants a treat? Is beauty a Darwinian function? Well, I'm here to tell you, we're not doomed. I would argue that there is no singular component of beauty. We live in a world of many diverse cultures, and therefore there are many standards of beauty. Beauty is truly in the eye of the beholder, and we can behold beauty in all of its manifestations, from the round faces of a Cabbage Patch doll to the oval eyes of a Barbie, and the oval faces and the blue eyes and brown eyes and the dark features and the light features. Beauty is arbitrary. Of course, this is difficult to believe because the mirror held up by ourselves isn't just the one on our wall. Our friends hold up mirrors when they comment on our appearances. Our family holds up mirrors when they lay out expectations. And then there's the self-conscious mirror, the insecurities and the doubts and the feelings that in your voice that tell you you're not good enough. So mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Why does it matter? And quite frankly, you better believe it's you. As I become an adult, I find that confidence is what makes people attractive. And confidence will attract others to me. It's a simple law of attraction. Because in the end, there's only one true component of beauty that fuels beauty throughout. And that's something we all deem beautiful. That comes from within. And it's confidence. And with confidence, you can shatter all those mirrors. Never mind what those Scandinavian chickens think. Thank you.